You are listening to Taking Stock. I'm Carol Master, my co-host Michael McKee. We are live from the Ad Club in Boston, and this is Bloomberg Radio.
They're playing basketball
all around the world.
They are definitely playing basketball. In fact, it's one of the storied teams, if you will, known for great players, including Larry Bird. And this year, well, they've been working on rebuilding the team. And back with us is Rich Gotham. He's president of the Celtics. Great to have you back with us on Bloomberg Radio.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on again.
Do you hate when I say you're rebuilding the team?
We prefer to call it building.
Okay.
It's a go-forward approach. It's not a look backward.
How's it going?
It's going well. I think if we look at it in the big picture, we're definitely progressing along the curve that we want to be on. You know, in the short term, you get bumps in the road like the game we lost last night and Friday night to Cleveland that make it a little tough, but we try not to take our eye off the big picture, which is we're a young team that's developing its young talent. We've got a lot of first-round draft picks coming our way in the next few years, and the cap space to be able to improve our teams with trades and free agents. So we feel very well positioned for the future, but you know, it's still, you live with it day to day as any fan in Boston does.
Yeah.
You want to win.
Is it kind of like the financial markets? There's cycles. And I mean, even with a
Right.
great team that's had a great track record, you're going to have years where it's not so great.
That's right. It is cyclical, and you do have to take that long-term, 10% year-over-year type of approach, right? You got to say,
I like that.
hopefully the curve, hopefully it's going in the right direction, and it's not too spiky, because spiky isn't really good either. You want consistency.
Right.
But in our business, we won a championship in 2008. We rode that team probably until about 2012, and then we realized we're moving a little bit further away from a championship than closer. So at that point in time, you have to make the honest assessment, make the changes you need to make to get you where you want to go, which for us is banner 18, without throwing away that sort of championship culture that defines the brand of the Celtics. So that's what we're trying to pull off right now.
Well, you've got a championship brand. You don't have a championship team. And until those draft choices come through and the players start playing better, how do you sell a team when you're 3-6 and the most frequent conversation about the team is whether your star player is going to get traded away?
Well, I think we always say it's the name on the front of the jersey and not the name on the back. And we're lucky we operate in Boston in an environment where we've got 60-year fans, season ticket holders, fans of the team, and a loyal following that have seen us do it before and have the confidence that we can do it again. And I think when you're in a period like the one we're in, the most important thing you can do is really communicate transparently with your fan base, with the media, as to how you're trying to get from point A to point B, and not try to sort of have a false aspirational message out there that doesn't match up with reality. So we're very cognizant of letting our fans into the direction, the moves we're trying to make to get where we go. And with an educated fan base that we have here in Boston, if they feel like it's a smart strategy and the moves we're making are getting us closer and closer, then they'll stick with us. And that's really what we try to do. So it's really a communications thing.
Do you have less time to carry out a plan in an age of free agency where one player changing teams, as we saw this year, completely changes the balance of power in the NBA?
Right. So I think what you have to do is set up your franchise to be opportunistic, and I think that's where we are right now. If you look back to 2008 when we acquired Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen to go along with Paul Pierce, we had positioned ourselves by developing our young talent, hoarding draft picks, and creating cap space to go out and make those kind of transformational acquisitions. And similarly, we're on the same curve now. We're developing our young players. We've got 9 first-round draft picks in the next 5 drafts, and we've got the cap space. So if a transformational player should become available, whether or not we'll be able to pull something off, you never know, but we'll be in a position and we'll have the option to pursue it. And that's what's most important. And that's what allows you to make sort of a quantum leap. But you can't really engineer that as much as you try. What you really have to do is believe in your building process and getting where you want to go. And so for us right now, that means investing in our young players and developing them along this curve and hoping they can get us where we want to go.
Is there something you don't have right now that you'd love to have?
Well, a couple more wins.
Besides that, that's a given.
Well, if you talk in basketball terms, I think we could use what we call a rim protector in basketball, a big, defensive center, although Tyler Zeller had a great game for us last night, so we're just starting to figure out how to utilize him. But I think, to your point earlier, if you had some magic pill that could accelerate things, that would be great, because while our fans, are patient as long as they believe in the direction of the team, you want it to happen faster for us and for them. So the key is to try to be patient and not make foolish moves hastily, because in our business there's a very big opportunity cost with every decision you make. If you go out and you sign a big free agent and it's the wrong player, that locks up your salary cap, because we have a hard cap system, which is going to prevent you from improving your team in other ways. So you really have to wait for the right opportunities and hope those come along. So I'm wishful for those opportunities.
What's the likelihood you could make any changes during the season that would fit into your long-term strategy? The subtext of that question is, does Rajon Rondo stay the season?
Well, the hope is yes. I mean, he's our best player, so you don't really improve your team by ridding yourself of your best player. And he's our team captain as well, and he's a leader on our team. I think the way you look at that is you just sort of put it through your filter, which is, does this help us get closer to where we're going? Every now and again, you have to take a little sidestep in order to take 2 steps forward, and you have to evaluate every opportunity through that filter, which is what we try to do, and we do it in a very painstaking fashion. None of these decisions are trivial, even the ones that don't appear to be. It's sort of like moving pieces on a chessboard. They can set you up to do something else. So every move has to be sort of calculated. And can you do it during the season? It's not as easy to do it during the season. It's easier to do it in the off season. So most of our big moves historically have come during the off season.
Hey, Rich, I want to ask you about something in terms of like strategies and plays. Adam Silver has come out and put out some comments in favor of legalized sports gambling.
Right.
Curious what you think the NBA position is. What's your position in terms of, for basketball specifically, and in terms of online gambling? What position should it have?
Well, I think it's similar to what Adam articulated, which is there's a massive unregulated industry around sports betting, sports gambling. And it's going on. No one's profiting from it legally. I think the idea is that it's a form of fan engagement, whether you like it or not. You sort of say it's something that fans care about, and it builds their affinity towards what we do. So I think for the league to take a look at that and say, is there a way that, in a regulated way, in a credible way, that the leagues can participate in this. There's sort of this whole category of daily fantasy games that go on now, which are legal in most states, with companies like DraftKings, who the Celtics partner with. And as this stuff becomes more and more mainstream, as a business, the NBA and the other leagues have to look at this and say, is this something that someone else should be, generating all this opportunity around,
and
or something
from.
that we should look at?
Yeah.
So I think it's a long way from being able to make that kind of decision. Obviously, state by state, these decisions get made, and I think as a league and as a team, we'd certainly look at it opportunistically and say, is there a good opportunity for fan engagement if we can do this in a way?
Do you think there is?
Well, I think it's already happening. So I think the proof is there, and you could, I guess, debate how big the numbers are, but they're estimated of anywhere from 80 billion to 400 billion in sports betting that goes on out there. So there's certainly engagement going on around that. And fantasy is such a huge thing, whether it's, for money or just sort of for competition.
Hey, about 30 seconds left. Brad Stevens said, the thing he preaches to his players about a 3-6 start is you don't overreact, and then he goes home and he overreacts. What do you say to him while you're rebuilding?
I coach an
overreact.
I coach an 8th grade basketball team, so I understand some of his frustrations. I think Brad is a very steady guy. He is like that sort of 10% year over year on a straight upward trajectory kind of guy, and he's the right guy to steer us through this. It's tough for him in that he had so much success in college. He's not used to losing this many games, but at the same time, he never loses his faith, his confidence that the next night will be a win, and he coaches his guys that way, and they believe in him.
That's what you got to do. Rich Gotham, thank you very much. He's the president
Thank
of
you.
the Boston Celtics. Always great to see you here with us and to be up in Boston with you. We got to go check out the garden and the remodeling.
I'm there.
Sometime soon. Anyway, this is Taking Stock on Bloomberg Radio.